everyone, welcome to today's session. Let us start by giving you all a quick brief on what OctaNet is. So, Tech OctaNet is a budding startup headquartered in Bhubaneswar, specializing in IT solutions across diverse sectors including e-commerce, real estate, automation, and personalized business application. Our primary focus is to provide affordable services to startups, aiding them into their digital initiatives. In addition to our core services, we are expanding into the corporate training sector, aiming to equip future corporate employees with a solid foundation. We also address student needs by identifying academic project requirements, internship opportunities, and offering comprehensive solutions. We are proud to be incorporated as an organization with the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, registered with MSME, and approved by AICTE for internship programs. Also, our commitment to quality is underscored by ISO 9001 2015 certification, ensuring that every project we undertake reaches highest standards of excellence. Okay, thank you so much. That was all. Let us now stage our instructor and start today's session.
Hey everyone, I hope you all are doing good. Today we are going to study about some basics of web development from what all projects we can create using web development. And in this particular whole session, what we are going to target is we are going to target how we can create some full stack projects and how we can use them. Okay, so starting with today, what we are going to do is we are going to start with HTML. We'll learn basics about it. We'll develop a simple website around it, and then we'll implement CSS in that, and then we'll move on to JavaScript. After all completing all of these things, what we are going to do is we are going to study a little bit part about APIs and integration, and then how we can connect databases uh, to our project. So all of these things we are going to study now in this particular session. So let me just share my screen. Meanwhile, if you guys have any doubts regarding this workshop, you can ask, or anything else, you can simply ask in the chat box. And meanwhile, I am taking this session. You can also ask your doubts in in the chat box in the comment section, and I'll be able to answer them accordingly. Okay, so let's start. Let me just share my screen. Okay, so starting with what we are going to do right now is we are going to study some of the basics part of web development and how we can create a simple HTML page. For example, if I open this particular page in the browser, so we have this a very simple HTML page. How we create this, how we write headings and text, how we add a link here, and how we can navigate to other web page. We will be learning all of that today, and how we can add images in a web page, how we will add these some links, how we are going to add paragraphs, how we are going to add list. All of these things we are going to study now. So let's start. So let's suppose I have to create a page something similar to this. Okay, so the first step, what we have to do is we have to understand how we are developing this. Like, what are the terminologies that we are going to use? What are some of the things that we are going to incorporate here? All of these things are very important to be understood for continuing or writing this code. So what exactly is HTML here? So let me just zoom it a little bit. So HTML is a programming language. It's not a programming language. Why? Because we do not. There are some different types of languages. For example, C++ is a executable language. You need a compiler for running the programs that you are writing in C++, and the similar case is for Java also. But when it comes to HTML, it is not considered a programming language, and it's simply a markup language. And what exactly does markup language means? So just like you write some of the things in your notepad, or you write something in your text editor. So what you are doing in that, you are writing some text. So the language in it that you are using is known as the markup language of notepad or of anything of that sort. So the language of the web page is known as the markup language of the web page. And in our case, HTML is the markup language of our web page. So whatever thing we have to write on the, like, whenever we have to write some text on the web page, we use HTML for that. So we can make the text bold, we can make it italicized, and we can also add image that we have also seen in this particular web page. We can do all of these things, right? And we can also add title. We can show in the browser tab, like here it's written chicken. So we can also add title on our web page. We can add different sizes of the web pages, right? So just give me a minute. Okay. So all of these sort of things we can also do, like we can add different headings, sizes in the or different like heading tags, subheadings. We can also make a text bold by using the b tag. We can also create lists. So there are a lot of things that we have here. So starting with I'll show you everything one by one. So let's do one thing. Let's create a file. Okay. So what you have to do for writing HTML, you have to create a new file, and that can be inside any folder of your choice. So here I am creating this inside basic.html folder right now. So I am going to write index.html here, and this before the dot notation, you can write anything. For example, here I have written chickens.html, embeddemo.html. So I have created a new file. You can create this inside any folder, index.html. Okay. Now for writing the HTML code, we started by defining that our document type that we are writing here is HTML. Okay. So as soon as I write this, so our browser is able to understand, or our text editor is also able to understand that, okay, we are going to write HTML code here. Okay. So now when I write here HTML, so inside this HTML part, let me just remove this for a bit. So after this, what we have to do, we have to write these HTML tags. So if you see very clearly, I have written HTML two times. One thing contains these arrow bracket, right? And the another tag contains the slash. So what this means is this particular tag, this is known as tag. Okay, tag in HTML, and this particular tag which does not have a slash is known as the opening tag in HTML, and this particular tag which has a slash in it is known as the closing tag in HTML. So in all the tags, like nearly all the tags that we have in HTML, they are either opening tag or the closing tag. So we use both of them together. Now inside HTML, what we do is we divide this particular HTML document into two parts. The first one is the head part, and the another one is the body part. So what are both of these? So the head part is this particular top portion of the browser. Wherever you are seeing, like, we have written here chicken.html, we have written we are seeing some of the tabs and the links here. So this head portion of web page is basically all of the things that we are seeing at the top right now. So here inside the head section, we can add different links, we can add references, and everything. We are going to like learn how we can add links here. So all of the links that we are going to write will be contained inside the head portion. And inside the body, all of the things that we want to write inside the white portion of the browser, this particular white portion, we write it here. Okay. So yeah. So we write it here only. Okay. So I can change title here, and I can write here, this is my first web page, for example, and let me just open this. So if I right click on my laptop and I just copy path of this particular file, my index.html file, I go back and I paste this here. So you can see this is the path of my file only. So I have pasted that here in the Chrome browser, and if I click on OK, okay, so let me just remove the comments from here for now. They are, because they are also getting displayed here. So if I refresh everything, so you can see I am getting this particular title, my first web page that I have written here, and I am getting a blank screen. So this particular blank white screen is known as the body part of the HTML document. So if I write here heading, so this is the first, the topmost and the biggest size of the heading, that is H1. So if I write here hello, this is my first heading. Okay, and if I click on save, go back and click on refresh, so you can see I'm getting this particular first heading, right? So this is what we have here. My first heading. Okay. Now I can also write some other subheadings, for example, this particular second heading, third heading, fourth heading, fifth and sixth heading. All of these headings I can also add here, right? So if I just refresh this, so you can see the order of sizes here also of these different heading tags. So we can add these kind of like headings on our web pages. And one more important thing is that we have to use only one H1 on our HTML document. Okay, so you can use multiple H1. Like if I write here H1 again, you can use that. You will not get an error here being displayed if you use the heading H1 tag two times. But uh, whenever we go to Google or we search something, for example, if I search here Gemini, for example, so I get the search result at the top saying Gemini, right? I searched it. So this is known as search engine optimization, so that your website comes to the topmost in Google search when you deploy your website. So it is very important to follow all these SEO parameters that we have. So one of the search engine optimization parameters that we have is that we should have only one H1 for our heading on the web page. So this particular heading will help Google or the Chrome browser to search for your web page and relevant topics that you have inside your web page when a user searches for something. Okay, so it's a good practice to use only one H1. You can use multiple, you will not get an error for that. Okay, now if I want to add only text, I don't want to make it bold or something. What I can do, I can use a P tag. Okay, here. So if I click on refresh, go back, click on refresh. So you can see I am getting this plain text here, which is not decorated at all. It does not contain a bold type or anything, and its size is also comparatively very normal, right? So we can create these particular paragraphs here also. I can also add multiple paragraphs. For example, I can simply write here second, third, and I can add like 8 paragraphs here. It will not cause me any issue, right? So this is how we can add paragraphs also. So you can like increase the length of these paragraphs also. If I refresh this, so you can see I'm getting this lengthy paragraph also. So you can use these HTML tags in this particular format only. Okay, let me just close this, and let's move further beyond the heading and the paragraph tag. So we have studied about the heading and the paragraph tag, and now we are going to study about the another tag that we have here. Okay, so let's just go back. Let's just close this. So now I have this particular web page. Now, in place of this, we have also seen in this chickens.html page also, we are seeing some links that are being displayed here, right? We are getting this. We have written about the headings, we have written paragraphs and subheadings also, but we are seeing that this particular thing is also there, and they have some dots here, right? They have the list items here. So how we can add list items? So there are two types of list items that we have in HTML. First one is the unordered list item, and the another one is the ordered one. So unordered list is represented by the tag of UL. Okay, this particular opening and the closing tag. And inside this, if I write the list item here, and I write here item one, for example, and I can add multiple of them. And if I click on save, I go back, click on refresh. So you can see I'm getting this list which is unordered. Unordered meaning they do not have numbers, they simply have bullet points here. Okay, so all of the list items that I have added here inside the unordered list tag, they are being displayed here. So let's try removing this UL tag. here. I have commented it here. Okay. So if I go back and I click on refresh, so you can see now you are not able to differentiate. Like indentation is gone from here. So unordered list, by using UL tag, you were getting the unordered list indentation here. Okay. If I go back and I click on refresh, so you can see I'm getting the indentation showing that from here we are getting the list items. Now, what if I want to make them numbered? So what I can do here is I can use in place of UL, the ordered list tag here only. This is the thing that I have to change here. And if I go back and I click on refresh, so you can see now I'm getting numbered list here, right? So you can create unordered list also, and you can create ordered list also. And you can do this multiple times on your web page. So that's how we have created this particular list items here. Okay. Now, what I can do is I can also create add links on my web page. So what I will do here is I will use anchor tag and I can simply say go to google.com. This is the URL of google.com and I have given a name to my tag which is Google. Okay. And if I go back and I click on refresh, so if you scroll down and I zoom it a little bit, so you can see here we are getting a anchor tag displaying Google. Okay, if I click on this, I am redirected to google.com. Okay, so that's how we can create anchor tags or add anchor tags in our page also. Okay, so now you can see when I click on this google.com, I am being redirected to google.com and I have to go back. So what if I want to open a new browser from here? Okay, so what I will do here is I can add an anchor tag here, google.com, and my target will be blank. Okay, so let's see what this particular target equal to blank thing is doing here. Okay, so let me just go back and click on refresh. So you can see here it's being redirected to a new tab, right? Previously, it's only happening here, but when I write target blank, then it's coming on a new tab. So if you want your URL to be opened at a new tab, so what you can do here is you can simply write here target equal to blank, and that will happen, right? So you can do that. Also, you can also add an image. Let me show it to you how we can add images here, first of all. So I can also create these as anchor tags. So if inside the item one, what I do here is I write here anchor tag, okay, google.com. And if I save it here, click on refresh. So you can see now this has also changed. So I can also add line items here. And if I click on this, we'll be redirected to google.com. Now, another thing is, if we see on this particular web page, what we have now, we have studied how we can add links, we have studied how we can add heading. Now, another thing that comes here is how we can add a image, add an image here, right? So, let me show it to you. Uh, by using an img tag, and it's a self-closing tag, first of all. So there are some of the tags in HTML which does not have a closing tag. Image tag is one of them because you don't have to write any text here for the image. So this is a self-closing tag. And if I write here source of the image, so for example, just give me a minute. Yeah. So if I write here src, so I am getting a image URL here. Okay, so you can copy any URL of the image from Google and you can display it here. And you can also write alt here. So alt represents the name of your image. So if for some reason your image URL is wrong or it's not getting displayed due to internet issues, you can you will be able to see this particular name here. Okay, so let me show it to you once. If I click on refresh, so you can see I am getting image of Google logo here, right? I'm getting this particular image. And if for some reason, let's say my URL is wrong, for example, I have removed PN from here and I won't be getting an image, but I am getting the name of the alt here, right? I'm getting this particular name of the alt displaying that, hey, there was an image here before, but it's not here right now. So we use it to show the user that there was some image, but it might be due to your internet connectivity issues or some other reason you are not able to see it. Okay, so that's why we write here Alt. Let me save it again. Let me refresh. So you can see how I can add image here also. I can add more than one images also. So let me do that. So here I have added another image which has some width and height also. So suppose you don't want your image to be this big. So what you can do here is in with this particular attribute, you can also use width and height. Now, if I go back and I click on refresh, so you can see I have got another image and it's comparatively smaller than the first one, right? It's comparatively smaller. So I can also make it more small. I can write it 50 and 50, so this will become more smaller. Let me click on refresh. So you can see now it's smaller. So I can use width and height attributes with my image for displaying a smaller image or bigger image respectively, whatever is your preference, right? So you can do that. Now, yeah, let me save this. Click on refresh. Yeah. So in this particular web page, we have studied how we can add image, how we can like add all different behaviors here, right? So we have studied this part. Now, in place of this, one more important thing is we can add nested lists here. Okay. So, or if I say here, create an ordered list, and here inside this add list item one. Okay. Or let's say, yeah, list item one. And inside this, I create another list which is unordered right now. And I write here item 1.1, 1.2, or something like that. And I do that for a couple of times. Let's say item two, and inside this unordered list with this. So you can see the syntax here also. So this is ordered list, right? And inside the ordered list, I have a list item, and inside the list item, I have some unordered list. So if I go back and I click on refresh, so you can see I am able to create nested list items here also by using this particular code. Okay. I can also create nested list items here. So that's how I can create nested lists. So let's suppose I want to create this particular image as a URL, as an anchor tag, or I want that I am being redirected to google.com when I click on this particular image, right? So what I can do here is, let's just give me a minute. I can take this particular tag and I can paste it here, and I can give inside the anchor tag href. So in HTML, what we can do, we can write tags inside tags. So if I have this particular anchor opening tag, I have added the image here and the anchor closing tag. If I go back and I click on refresh, so you will see there is no change as such. But if I click on this particular image, then you can see I am getting redirected to google.com. So that's how you can add images, and you can add anchor tag to it so that these images are also clickable. Okay, so I hope this part is clear to all of you. The next part that we have is superscript and subscript. So if you see this particular web page, and if I zoom it a little bit, you can see I am getting a text displaying 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2 is equal to 1. So if I try writing this very simply like this, let me write a paragraph tag here. And if I write here 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2, okay. So let's see how it's being displayed in our web page. Let me click on refresh this particular web page. You can click on refresh. So you can see it's not coming as like this particular format, right? It's not coming like this. It's coming as a very simple plain format. Similar to this, if I write here H2O, let me write here H2O, H2O, okay, H2O. If I click here and refresh, so you can see H2O is also coming very plainly. It's not coming as a subscript, right? So how I can make this 2 as a superscript? So for that, what we can do here is we can simply write here sub and H, just a minute here. So I will write paragraph tag H, okay, then sub. I have to make 2 as a subscript, so I will do that. So and then 0, right? So it's nested. This sub tag is nested inside the paragraph tag. If I click on refresh, so you can see now it has become a subscript, right? So similar to this, I can do this here also. I can write here sub and divide by 2. I can write it here, right? And same for the other one. So if I go back and I click on refresh, so okay, so by mistake I have done superscript. I'll change this. I will go back, click on refresh. So you can see now I'm getting it in a subscript form. Now, if I want to make a square of something, let's suppose I want to write here 2 to the power 10, for example. So I can simply write 2. In place of sub, I will write sub, and I can go back and click on refresh. So you can see I'm getting this as a superscript. So that's how I can add subscript and superscript in my HTML code also and display it on my web page accordingly. So I hope this part is clear to all of you. If you guys have any doubts, you can ask. Okay, so one more important thing that we have here is we can we can go to one web page, one HTML page to another HTML page. Okay. For example, I have this particular about me page, which is also displayed here only in my file path also. So, for example, I have index.html and index.html is inside the same folder in which I have embed for example, and it contains some list items, h1 heading and everything, right? So, this is particular web page. Now, if I want to redirect it from my web page to this emmetdemo.html, what I can do here is I can write in href slash emmetdemo.html. Okay. So if I write it like this, slash means that I will be redirected to this particular web page, and I can change the title here also, emmetdemo. Okay. So in this way, I can redirect to a local web page also. Let me zoom out a little bit. So you can see this is MA demo, and this particular web page we have not yet like set up, so it's not being redirected properly, but we can do it accordingly, right? So we can do this, and we can also add a URL which is present on the web browser or the internet. We can also copy and paste that accordingly. So that's how we can create a simple HTML web page. Now, what we can do is, yeah. So we have another tag in HTML which does not have a simple meaning of its own, but we use it as a container for containing different things together. So that particular tag name is div. Okay, so div is just like a container. Okay, so you can add different fields and values here, and they will be divided accordingly. Okay, so I can write it here simply. So if I go back and I click on refresh, so you can see this is a heading inside div. So what is the exact relevance of div? You will learn that later on when we are going to apply about the CSS and the styling and everything. You will be able to understand about it in that part only. So for now, just understand that div does not have a simple meaning of its own. It's just like a container that holds different values inside it. Okay, so it's just like a glass of water or something else box containing some of the things. Okay, so that's how we can add the div here. So a more important thing apart from its meaning is how we can write this particular tag here. Okay, so I hope this part is clear to all of you. Okay, so what we are going to do now for revising all of the concepts that we have studied, and also if you want to learn, like there are a lot of HTML tags. The list is a lot, And if we are going to cover each and every HTML tag from start in this particular session, then we won't be able to complete all the concepts that we have in web development. So if you want to study about all the tags that we have here, what we can do is we can go to W3 Schools documentation. Okay, and it's a really good documentation for studying about like different HTML and HTML, CSS, and all of these things. So if you click here on HTML, so you can study about it from here. Okay, you can study about it from here, and you can like it contains all the elements that we have. If we go to HTML element tag, so they have it. Okay, if we go down, so they have all the resources for studying about the different tags. The syntax of all the HTML tags will remain the same that we have right now. So it will not change. Only the name, the tag name will change and the content inside it will change. The syntax of writing the HTML will remain the same. So now what we are going to do is we are going to create a portfolio web page by using only HTML. So first of all, we will create this particular portfolio website by using only HTML. And after that, later on, what we are going to do, we are going to incorporate CSS in it and then like beautify our web page. Okay, so let me just remove everything from here. And if I go back and click on refresh, so you can see I have nothing now because I have removed everything. And now we are going to build from scratch a portfolio website here. So now what we can do here is we can add doc type HTML at the top, doc type HTML, and then the HTML opening and the closing tag. Inside this, I have added a head section, and I am going to change the title to portfolio website. Okay, so this is heading from here, or I can say here, welcome to my portfolio website. Okay, let me go back, click on refresh. So now I have this particular thing, the portfolio website and everything. So now what I will do here is I will write a bigger heading for only portfolio website. Okay, and I will add a paragraph here displaying like this is a portfolio website. Okay, so yeah, so I have added this particular web page. Or what I can do is I can add a simple summary here also of my portfolio. So what I can say here is write summary of portfolio. Okay, so if I click, it will generate some text for me. And yeah, so what it's doing is it has given a paragraph. Like inside the paragraph, it is written, Welcome to my portfolio website, where I can explore project skills. You can explore your experiences, and you show like you can give this particular description here on this particular web page. So this is how I have added a link of the like a description of the portfolio website. So in all the portfolio websites, you might have seen that you share your image, like you share your profile image, right? So here what we are going to do is we are going to share the profile image of ourselves. So here I will write image and I will add source tag. Okay. And inside the source tag, I'm going to add some random image of a person. Let's say you can add your image also here. So person image. Just give me a minute. I think the network issue is there. Hey everyone, sorry I got disconnected. So let's start again. Just give me a minute. Yeah. So I have shared my screen again, and what I was discussing right now was I have created this particular web page, which contains the title of my portfolio website, and it contains a heading that this is a portfolio website and some description of what my portfolio website contains. So, portfolio website, as you guys also know, it's a description of your, like, it's like a resume of a web developer. Okay, we share it across like different platforms to recruiters, and we describe all the details that we have here, right? So uh, inside the we have added here up till now a heading and a paragraph here, right? Showing the description. You can also like show your particular description. Now, what we are going to do is we are going to add here a source of our image. So you can add your image also if you want, and I'm going to add some random person image here. You can also add your image. For example, this particular image, I will just copy part of this particular image. For example, copy image address and paste it here. Okay, let me go back and click on refresh. So you can see I am getting this particular image here also displaying. So you can also add your image. You can also add your image from local computer also. Okay, by saving that particular image in your folder where you have this particular file, and you can simply add the path of your image from your local computer also. Now, here when you have added the image, you will be writing about your name, right? So you will be writing your name here. So here I can write my name, okay, and I can write a profession here, okay. So here I can say my profession is web developer, okay. And if I click on refresh, so you can see I am getting this particular two details that we have here, okay. So I can write here a full stack web developer, and based on whatever things you can write here, okay. And I am going to write it in H3. Let me refresh this so you can see now it's being displayed correctly. Now, after this, what we have an about me section, right? So, what I'm going to do is I am going to create these sections inside a div. Okay, I am going to create these particular sections inside a div. So, this particular section, the portfolio website, welcome to my portfolio website. This was one section. Okay, section one. I will comment it out. So describing that this is section one, and I will wrap all of the things that I have inside here in a div. Okay, let me just paste it here. So this is one div, okay, contains all the content. Now I'm going to add section two here, which will be the about me section. Okay, so I can also name it as about me section. Okay, now I'm going to create a div. It's a container here, and now here I'm going to write a heading about me, and then a paragraph displaying some paragraph about me, right? And I will display it here. So below my title and my description, I have also added a section which is displaying about me, and I have described some of the technologies that I know. Okay, so similar to this, you can also add your particular basically you can also add your about me section. Okay, so this is the second section. Now I can create a third section here, which will be the skill section. Okay, so here I have added a heading. This will contain the skills, and I will add my skills in a list item format. Okay, React, Node.js. We can also write SQL here, GitHub, responsive design, and everything. So these all the skills that I have displayed here. So now I have my portfolio website, which is displaying, which is going to display like, okay. I hope it's clear now, I guess. Okay, so yeah, we have added a description of our portfolio, heading and everything. And we have also added an about me section here, displaying and all the projects with relevant skills that we have here, right? So we have added these sections. Inside the project section, we don't have anything. So let's add something here also. So inside projects, what we have some list of projects, for example, and we have links for it, right? So let's suppose I have a project and I can wrap this inside an anchor tag. Okay. And I will add the link of my project. Okay. So here, for example, it's google.com right now. So what I can do here is I can add a link, some links of my project. So if I go to github.com, okay, uh, yeah. So let me go to github.com. Just give me a minute. I think it's logged in here. So let me write GitHub. Okay. And let me see if I have some link of the project here. So, uh, we have something here. Yeah. So I have this website right here. Let's see if it's being opened or not, since it's been a lot of time here. And what else do we have? Uh, weather project. Do we have a link for the weather project? Okay, so this is a website that I created. This is a full stack website, by the way, and this is something that we have created right now. It's being loading. So this particular website that I created here. So it does not have like backend connected to it right now. It's only front end. But yeah, we created it like we were a team. So I can add this particular part in the link section here. So I will paste my hosted URL here, right? And I will write here. Uh, okay. Next, we can add some another link like for weather project. I don't have the link, so I will simply write here weather project. But you can add link if you have, and you can write here project, weather project, and you can add some more links here. You can write here some data science projects also. Okay, and something. So it's just an example. Now, if I click on refresh, so you can see now I have these projects here. So I can redirect to these projects also. Okay, I can also redirect, get, you see, I am getting redirected to GDSC website. And also similar to this weather project and the data science project. So I have also completed the project section here. Okay, now last section that we generally show the user or give the user is what whoever is coming to our web page is the contact section, like how he or she is going to contact us. So we give a email to option. Okay, give me a minute. Yeah. So here, what I can do is I can add a. Okay. Hmm. So here what we have created another div. Okay, here it's the contact heading, and I have given my email here, the phone and the address also. Okay. Now let me save this, go back and click on refresh. So you can see I am getting all of these things being displayed on the web page. So this is how I can create a simple portfolio website using HTML only, and we can also share this particular web page with the users also. Okay, so let me just go back and show some of more things. So let's suppose I have these particular skills section, okay, and I want to divide it or show this in a table format. So what we can do in HTML, we can create tables also. So let me just go to the skill section and let me just say remove this, and here I'm going to add a table. So for writing a table, you use the similar format. You write table, opening and the closing tag. You write tr represents your one row, okay, and inside this, when you write th, this means your uh, heading of that row. Like you have columns and you have heading of that column, so it's that only. And you write here like table details. So what you can do here is you can add table details, and you can add stars for displaying like what is your what I can say, how good is your that particular skill. So it also looks very good, and like you can add multiple. So inside this tr, th, and tr, what this td means, it will be table details. So if I just go back and I click on refresh, so you can see now I am getting this in a table format, skill and the level. So let me just add more skills here also. Okay, and yeah, so I think these all are sufficient. So you can see I'm also able to show this in that particular format also. Now this doesn't look that good. Like it does not look like a table. So what I can do here is I can say add borders in the table. Okay, so let me show it to you the code here only. Just give me a minute. Yeah. So now, if you see very clearly, I am getting one new attribute which says style. Okay, and inside this I have border collapse, and I have a width of 100% of this, and I have some style of border, padding, and everything. So this is where the CSS part comes into play. Okay, so inside this style, you can style your attributes, you can style your HTML tags. So here I have written border collapse, and I have written give 1 pixel solid border flag to table heading and everything. And if I just go back and click on refresh, so you can see it creates a beautiful table in front of me, which is using obviously CSS and border and everything. So what exactly border means? Border is this particular lines that you are seeing here right now, and padding is some spacing between your text uh, and the like border that we have right now. So we are going to study about how exactly padding works and how exactly everything works in the CSS part. So if you are getting confused, don't be right now, because we are going to study all of this further. For showing you that this is a particular table that we have created here, I had to give it a like a look of a table right now. So that's what I have done here. You can ignore this step for now. We can like understand it later on when we are going to learn about the CSS part. So what we have here is we have all the sections that we need for the portfolio website, right? Now, what I can do, let's suppose user does not want to contact us, or let's say we want to store user information who is coming to our web page. So in that case, we can ask user to enter his details and take his details in a form, for example. So if I write here form tag, and inside this I add label name, and then I add another HTML tag which is input. Okay, and if I input is also a self-closing tag, by the way. And if I write here value, okay, so it can be empty for now. You can say enter your name and everything, email, and a message that user wants to say to me. And I can also give a button here. All of these are HTML tags, and this tag is the break tag, and we have label, input, and everything. So you can see this also very clearly. And if I just go back, so you can see I have created a form here in which user can enter his name. Value is what is coming here, right? So here it's right now coming enter your name, since I have written value here. So if in place of value I write here placeholder, enter your name. So it will be a little bit different from this. I can add values here. Okay. And this is a value. So I can, in place of this, I can use placeholder. That would be much better. Okay. So if user in form, what we have to do, where we have to send these details, we can add an action here for the form, and this will say that I have to post on this particular URL all of these details. So when I do this, all of these details will be posted on that particular URL. So if I write here name, John, for example, Doe, and message hello, and if I click on submit, so all of these details will be submitted on the URL. So that's the work of backend that is right now. So we have not implemented backend yet. So like that cannot work accordingly, but you are sending a request like this, okay, to the backend when you write a method post or something. So that's how the form also works. So these are some of the different tags that we have in HTML. If you guys have any doubts regarding HTML, you can ask, and else we can continue with the CSS part, and we can see how we can beautify this particular website by using CSS and the style attribute that we have studied right now. So if you guys have any doubts, you can ask. Otherwise, we'll continue. By the way, if you guys want, you can take the screenshot of the code that we have here, so that if you want, you can like practice it later on. So I'm giving you a minute or two to take the screenshot, and then we can continue. How to apply link in a web page. So I think I have told it to you here by using anchor tag. Okay, I can add a link to a web page. Is there anything else that you are asking right now? Can you elaborate a bit more? Okay, so guys, I think we can take a 1 minute break. I'll be back in a minute. Meanwhile, if you guys have any doubts, you can ask. We'll discuss that, and then we'll continue with the CSS part. Okay, guys, let's continue further. Now, up till now, what we have done here is let me revise all of these things. So, we have used the concepts of HTML to incorporate some of the things or build a portfolio website that we have here, right? So now, it does not look that good, or it's a simple like we have written something, just plain text or anything. And if you see a different portfolio websites, let me show it to you also websites examples here. So we have a lot of portfolio website examples on the internet. So let me show you some of them. It's loading. Uh, yeah. So if I click on this, so you can see this particular website is looking a lot more good, right? It's much more better than what we have here right now. So it contains a background image, right? And if we go here and there, so you can see it has a lot of things here, right? A different some of the different things. Yet it's very simplistic, but you can see some colors and all of these things. The alignment, it's a lot different. They also have some of the icons here. If we see this particular web page, uh, so these are some examples that you can also see that have like some different what I can say, some different alignments, some beautification being done in the web pages. If you look at ours, we don't have color schemes or anything here right now. So what we are going to do by using CSS, we are going to beautify this particular code. Again, we are not going to cover everything that we have here in CSS also. And for anything, for learning everything, you can always go to W3 School's documentation. You can check that out. I will simply just explain you guys the syntax, how we connect HTML and CSS, how we add like basic, how we write the basic syntax, and rest of the things you can study on your own. Okay, so let's go back and let's see some of the things. So what I want here is I want to divide all the sections that I have in different colors, for example, or I want it in different alternative colors, right? So what I'm going to do is let me show you the code also. So there are three methods of writing CSS. Okay, for beautification of the code, there are three methods that we follow. The first one is simply writing here style. Okay, and this will be let's say I want to uh, add background color. Okay, so we have an attribute named background color, and I can give a background color of let's say antique white. Okay, this was already present. So I have given this particular background color to this section one div. Okay, and if I go back and click on refresh, so you can see I am getting this particular color in section one of my web page. Right, I am getting this particular thing. Right. So this is the first method of how I can add CSS or background color to my web page. The second method is by if I go to the body section at the top, let me just scroll everything down a little bit, and I write here a style tag. Okay, and inside this, I can target the body. Okay, and I can give a background color of something like this. Let me go back, click on refresh. So you can see now it's a little bit grayish, right? You can see it's a little bit of grayish. It's not white in color now as it was coming before, right? So you can also use this particular color if you want. So, but it's not looking good, so we'll not use it. But you can, I think you guys understand what I'm trying to imply here. The first method of adding style is this. The second syntax or format of writing the CSS is this. And the third one is by creating a new file. So if you are inside basic.html or any folder in which you are and you have your index.html file, here only you create an index index.css file. Okay. And inside this index.css file, what you do, you target the elements that we have here. So for example, I have this particular h1 tag, or let's target the div only. Okay. I have this particular div. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I am going to target h1 for now, and I will write the color, like I want the color of my heading to be red, for example. Okay, I want it like this. Now if I go back and I click on refresh, let me just remove this particular thing from here. Okay, and if I click on refresh, so now you can see that whatever thing we written here, like we written this h1, that is exactly the portfolio website heading that we have here. It's not changing its color to red, it's still black. Why? The reason being, index.css is a new file and we have not connected it to our index.html file. So it's very important to connect both of these files so that they can interact with each other properly. So inside the head section that I already told you, we add links and everything that we have inside the head portion only. So here I will use the link tag and I will say this link is related to style sheet. Okay, the style sheet means the CSS style sheet and anything, and the href that we have here is the index.css. Okay, this is the URL. Like it's present in the same folder of index.html. So I have written here the href is index.css. Now it's connected. If I go back and if I click on refresh, so you can see now I am getting this particular red color that I have given it here, right? So these are the three methods of writing CSS. The thing that I'm doing here right now, I can also do it here, just like I'm giving a style or background color to it. I can also do that by writing a style tag here and the third method of this. Okay, so I hope this part is clear to all of you, how we can like add different styles. Now, one more important thing which comes here is the specificity or the priority of order of how all of these things will be incorporated. Now, what I am trying to say is, what if I write same CSS style in all the three methods? For example, you have this particular h1 and I write here style and I change it to some this particular color. Let me just change it to blue, for example. It's purple for now. And inside this particular heading, I have given this purplish color, right? And what I do here, I also give a style tag, and in this also I target h1 only, and sorry, I target h1 only, and I change its color to some other color. For example, I change it to green, for example. Okay. So now in all the three methods, I have three different colors. For the first heading, I have purple color, this particular method. For portfolio website, I have second method as green color, and I have the third method, which is in the red color format. Now, which of these will be implemented? Will I get an error, or will nothing will be incorporated? What will happen? Let's see. So now if I click on refresh, so what color we are seeing right now? We are seeing purple color here, right? We are seeing a purple color here. Why? Because of priority order of like happening or the incorporating of these styles. So if you see very clearly, you can find out the difference that first of all, this particular style of writing CSS, which is known as the inline CSS, will run. Okay, this will have the most priority order, inline CSS. Then tag style tag method. Okay, tag style method, and then the last priority order will be of external style sheet. Okay, external file or external style sheet. Okay, this particular order is important for you to remember here. Okay, this particular part is very important for you to understand and like remember always. Let me just uh okay. Then we have style method and then we have the external file or external style sheet. So inline CSS has purple color. It's the most priority one. So we are getting this. Now if I remove this particular style from here, then we'll be getting green color because in preference order, green comes in at number 2. And then if I remove this also, then we'll be getting this particular red color from external style sheet. So I hope this part is clear to all of you. Now let's go back and let's give a beautiful color to our heading here right now. So if you want to search some headings that we have on the web pages, so you can simply go to this particular website colorhunt.com, and you will be able to find a lot of good colors that they have, and you can use any of them. Okay. So up till now what we were doing, we were only writing name of the colors, right? What we were doing, we were writing name of the colors. For example, here I have written antique white color, and in here I have written some color code. Okay, so in place of what I can say, in place of names, we use color codes for for defining the colors. So our colorhunt web page contains a lot of codes, color codes that you can use here. So I'm liking this particular color palette, for example, and I can take this particular color, the topmost color. If I click simply on it, I will get this color code. I can go back and I can simply paste this color code here, adding a hash. So this particular color code will be displayed on my heading. Okay, let me click on refresh. So I am getting this particular color here. Okay. Now another thing is I want to this particular heading to be at the center of my web page. I don't want it to be aligned left. Okay, so what I can do here is inside H1 only, I can say text align property. This is another property in CSS that we have, and I will define it to be at the center of the web page. If I go back and I click on refresh, so you can see now I am getting this particular heading at the center of my web page, right? So I can do this for almost all the text that I have on this particular web page, since I think it will look more better than it is looking right now. Okay, so similar to what I have done for H1, I can do it for rest of my headings also. Okay, so I have H2 also. So for all the H2 headings, I can write text align property as center. Okay, and go back, click on refresh. So now you can see all the H2 headings have come to the center of the web page. So I am liking it a bit more. I can also do this for H3 also, for all the H3 headings, and this. I will add it to the center. Now, if I go back and click on refresh, so you can see all of my headings are now at the center. What I want more is I want all of their color to be similar to what H1 color is. So I will paste everything and I will refresh this. So you can see now all of the colors of the headings that I have here, they are in same color to what the main heading color is. Okay. Or what we can do is we can reduce this color size, or let's do this later on. Now, if you see very clearly, all of the styles that we have applied here is being applied for, like the same CSS style is being applied to all of the headings. So in place of writing this again and again, what we can do, we can simply write it for once. Like if I remove this, okay, let me just comment this out. And here, if I write here comma, H2 and H3. So if I do this, since this is same, right? It's not changing here also. It's not changing here also. So if I write it like this, then also I will be able to get the same result that I was getting previously. So this reduces the number of lines of code, in turn improves your code reusability, and you can use it a lot of times more than you were using it right now. So this will reduce the number of lines of code that you are writing right now. So this is another method of how I can like add styles to the CSS. This is known as the selector method or the element selector here that we have used. And this is multiple element selector that we are using here, right? So I hope this part is clear to all of you. Yeah. Now, uh, if you see, I have paragraph tags, but they are left aligned right now. I also want them to be centered aligned, right? So what I can do here is I can simply target all the paragraph tags here, and I will write here their text align property to be uh, center. Okay. Now if I refresh this, all of my text will come to the center of the web page. Like it will be aligned at the center and it's looking a lot more better, right? Now, what else we can do? Yeah. Now I want the color of the paragraphs to be gray. So I will simply write here color and the color will be uh, gray color. Okay. I can use this. Click on refresh. So now, yeah, a lot more better. I have this particular thing in gray color. Okay. Now, what else I want to do? I want to create this particular background alternate. Like if it has come on the this portion, then it should come on the project section also, and then contact section also. So how we are going to do that? So let's see. Uh, yeah, we have applied here a div of background color, this particular antique white, right? So let me just remove it from here, and I will add this particular style in style sheet only. Okay. So now I want this alternate color to be present on different divs. So what I'm going to do here is I will write here div and I will write here background color and this will be antique white. Okay, let me go back, click on refresh. So now you can see this color has come on all the divs that we have. There are those many divs, they have got this particular color. Right. But what I wanted initially was when I am getting this on this first section, I should not get on the second section. I should see on the third, not on the fourth and on the fifth section. But right now it's coming on all the sections. So how we can deal with this? So now if we see below, let's see the div that we have. So this is the first div. This is the section one div. Okay. So for differentiating the divs, we can give a class name to these divs. So I will give a class as section one to this particular div. Okay. Now if I go back and I simply write here for targeting class, we use dot notation and we write section one. So here I have given name to my div as section one. And if I go back, then you can see I am getting this for only one web page, right? For only one. Now, what I can do here is I can give it to, I don't want this particular color on section 2, I want it on section 3. So I can give the same class of section 1 to this particular third div. Okay, if I click on refresh, so you can see I am also getting this particular background color on project section also. If I go down and if I add this particular thing on the contact section also, I give the same class to contact section also. And if I click on refresh, so now this color is incorporated on the contact section also. So that's how I can give same class name to multiple elements that we have here and we can use it accordingly, right? So that's how we can do that. Apart from this, we can give multiple names also to this particular div. For example, if you want this particular class to be section 3 only, this to be section 5, and this to be section 3 only, then you can also do that. Here you will have to simply write comma, okay, section 3 and section 5, similar to how we were doing it previously. And if I go back and click on refresh, you will see no change and you can do it in this particular format also. Okay, so I hope this part is clear to all of you. I don't think there are any doubts in this. Now, let's come back to the image part. Okay, so let's target all the sections one by one. We will try to beautify it as much as possible, and then we'll like continue further. Okay, so now if we see this particular portfolio website, so here this is on the left part. I want this particular image to be at the center of the web page. Now, to making it at the center, I have to convert this particular section into a flex box. Okay, so what exactly is flex box? We are going to study about that. So if you go to the top section one, yeah, so this is the top section one. For converting anything in a flex box, we are going to target section one dot section one. Okay, We'll remove it from here for now. We'll take this. Okay, right background color antique white. And I will say that I want this particular section to be a flex box. So I will write here display, the display property of elements that are present inside the section 1, that is the section 1 div. They will be in a flex box order or in a flex format. If I save this, let's see what change we see after writing display flex here. Now you can see all of the things that we were previously seeing as in column format, right? One below the another. Now they all have been converted to a single row, and all of these things have come in one line. We don't want this, right? We want all of them to be in column format. So by default, the direction of flex is row here. Okay. By default, it's row. So you are getting this in a row format. Now, if I convert this in a column format, and if I click on refresh, so you can see now it's coming in a column format, and now the image is taking the complete width of the section because we have not specified the height and width of the image right now. So let's also do that. This is the image, and we'll give some width of let's say 200 pixels and height of 200 pixels to this particular image. And let me save this. So now you can see it has returned to its original format. But now, since we have written some CSS style to it, this particular section has been converted to a flex box. Okay. Now, what I want here is I want to align all of the things that is there on the web on this particular section at the center. So what I can do here is I can simply write here justify content. Okay. So now, if you are using row, okay, if you are using here row and you say justify content space between, or let's say justify content at the start. So what it's going to do is it's going to align all the contents at the leftmost part. Okay. When you are using row here in the direction, it will be aligning all of these things in the left part. If you're writing here end, all of these things will be aligned to the right part. If you're writing here center, then all of these things will be aligned on the center part of the web page. Okay, in the x direction, in the x axis or the horizontal distance. If you write here align items, okay, so they will work on the y axis. Okay, align items works on the y axis. So as soon as you written center, it will come on the center of the y axis. I can also write it as start, so it will come to the top. All of these things have come to the top. If I write here end, so all of these things will come at the bottom. So it's working according to what? It's working according to how we are defining it. So when flex direction is row, justify content will work in the x direction and align items will work on the end part. Let me explain it to you more further. So this is the section 1, and what we can do here is we can increase the width and height of this particular section. So what we are going to do is we are going to give it some height of, let's say, 600 pixels or 800 pixels, for example. And if I refresh this, you can see now the height of my first section is 800 pixels. Let me just reduce it a little bit, change it to 500 pixels. Refresh this, so you can see now my first section is a lot more bigger than previous one, and uh it's 500 pixels. Now, if we do, let me just comment it out to show it to you more clearly. So what I have done here is I have commented out the description for now to show it to you guys more clearly what we are doing here. Okay, so we have the content inside this particular section 1 div. We have converted the section 1 into a flex box, and we have defined the direction of flex as row, and we have given justify content to center. Now, if I change it to start, then all of these contents will shift in the x direction. If I give it end, then all of these contents will shift in the right part. Okay. If I give it center, that it was previously here, then all of these contents will come to the center part. We have another thing which is space around. Okay. So if I give space around to this, then you can see all of these contents have been divided into equal parts on all the on the horizontal direction. And if I give it space between, okay, so this has come to the, like, there are no space at the corners. If I say here space evenly, so I will get the space evenly option also. Okay, so that is how these different things are working in the x direction. Now, if I want to change the location in the y direction, then in that case, I will use align items. So if I say here start, I go back and click on refresh. All of the contents have moved to the start part. If I write here center, then all of these will move to the center. If I say here, let's say, what we can say, space evenly, this will not work because in one row we have only one content. So if you have 2 to 3 rows here, then they will be spaced evenly. So you can do this by using justify content and align items properties. Okay. Now let me remove this. Since we don't want it in this particular format, I am going to give the flex direction as column. Okay. If I refresh this, then all of the contents have now converted into a column format. Why this is coming at the center part? Because we have given the text align property of center here. That's why they are coming at the center part. So it's not overlapping with previous ones, but it's working according to it only. Okay, the text align property. So if I give it a flex direction of column, and here if I use justify content, then this in this case justify content will work in the y direction in place of x direction. That is the thing that is changing right now. So if I write here center, so my contents according to justify content will work in the y direction, not in the x direction as they were doing previously. This is the only change that comes when you change the direction of flex. Now, if I do align items will now work in the x direction. Okay, so that's the basic difference between it. Now, align items will work in the x direction and they will come to the center part. So now I am liking it a bit more to be at the center. So I will let it stay there. I will increase some height and width of the image. Like I'll make it some 250 width. So it's now looking much more better. Let me change the height also to 50 pixels, and it's a lot more better than before. So I have incorporated or changed this particular section 1 according to my preferences and needs by using CSS. Okay, so if you guys have any doubts, you can ask. Otherwise, we can continue. Okay, if you are coding along with me, so you can try developing this, and let's start in a minute. Continue further. So what we have done up till now, we have converted our section into a flex box. Now I want my image to be in a rounded format. I don't want it to be rectangular. So what I can do here is I can go to the style and I can target the image that we have here, this image tag, and I can go simply here and write img image tag, and here I can write border radius property. This is another property in CSS that we have, and I will convert it to 50%. If I write here simply, let's say 15 pixels for now to show it to you guys. So if I go back and click on refresh, so you can see now, if I zoom it a little bit, the borders have been rounded now, right? So we can do that here. The borders are a bit more rounded. So I want it to be in the circular format. So for converting it into a circle, I am going to use percentage unit and I am going to convert it to 100%. Okay. So now border radius is 100% and now it's circular in a circular format, right? Now I can also give border to this particular image. So I can use a border, okay, and border will be 2 pixels solid and of this particular color. If I click on refresh, so you can see now I am also getting a border around my image. I can also increase the width of the image. I can make it 10 pixels of border. So now it's little bit more like thicker, right? So I can change it back to 4 pixels. So I think that is good. So I will go with it. I can also change the border type. So right now it's solid. I can change it to dashed. Okay. So this is another type of border. If I click on refresh, so you can see now it's in a dashed format. I can also convert it into dotted form. So if I write in place of dashed dotted, so this will be in a dotted format, right? So I was liking the solid part more, so I will do that here. Okay, so that's how you can convert the image, you can convert it into percentages. Okay, now what I can do here is I can change the my size of the like name and the heading that I have below. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, yeah. So now I want this particular size of the image, size of the text to be more custom or to be a little bit bigger, but not as large as this particular portfolio website heading. So we can also do the we can also add custom sizes, font sizes here. So what I will do, I will go back and I will search the name where I have written. Yeah, this is written here. So I will give a class to this. I will give a class name. Okay. And here I will target this and I will write here simply font size of 20 and font weight will be bold. Now if I go back and click on refresh, so now you can see it has reduced a little bit according to pixels. Now if I change it to 30 pixels and I go back, click on refresh, so you can see now it's a lot more bigger, bolder, and I'm liking it accordingly. So I can use this and I'm liking this particular part, so I will let it be as it is. Okay, so that's how we can change the different perspective of the what we can say border. Okay, the font size. Okay, now I want some border also on the on my div like section 1. So here I can give a border 10 pixel border. Let me refresh this. So we are getting some radius of 10 pixels here. You can give border of 4 pixels or let's try, can we use, yeah, let's try dashed border here. Okay. So let me go back, click on refresh. So you can see now I'm getting this particular dash border here. So I have applied it here on my web page. Okay. Now let's target the about me section accordingly. Now this about me section is a little bit smaller. So I want the height of this particular section to be a lot more bigger. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give the class to this particular section. And by the way, in place of giving class to the section, we can also give ID to it. Since about section is only one on our particular web page, we can use ID. So instead of, what is the difference between class and ID? The difference is that you can use same class for multiple elements, right? But you cannot do so for ID. ID is only one on the web page. You will not get an error, but for ID, you will get an error. But for ID, the hash symbol for ID, for targeting ID, we write hash, and I write here about. Okay, so this is the about section. So it's a good practice to write IDs for sections. Okay, so like it helps in search engine optimization again. So we should write like this only. Now in the about section, I want it to be 500 pixels again. The background color will remain white, and what else do we have here? Yeah, so I want the height to be 500 pixels for now. Let me click on refresh. So now you can see the about me section has now become a lot more bigger than it was previously. Now I again will convert it into a flex box, and I will align all of these things that we have in the y-axis at the center, not at the top. So let's do that. In the about section only, I will change the display property to flex. Okay, and the flex direction will be column, justify content center, and align items also center. So now all of them have come to the center part of the web page, right? So I am not liking the font size here, so I will target this particular paragraph that we have. Okay, and I will give a class to it, about me paragraph. Okay, now I will add some font size to it. So here I will write dot about me paragraph, and the font size will be uh, 20 pixels only. Okay, so let me just go back. So you can see now it's a lot more bigger and better. What I can do here is I can also increase the letter spacing also. So letter spacing 1 pixel right now. So I think it's a lot more better than previously, right? It has some letter spacing has increased. We can increase it a lot more. We can do it to 2 pixels, right? So whatever thing like you can do that. So I will go with 1 pixels, and same I will do for the headings, all the headings. So I will increase the letter spacing to 1 pixels for all the headings. So now they are looking a lot more better than before. So here I have given this particular about me section. Now comes the projects part. Okay, so let's beautify this part also by using CSS. So I will give section 3 class name is being given. So I will use that only. I will remove section 3 from here. Okay, or let's remove section 5 from here. And here I will give a height of 500 pixels. Okay, again, display property will be flex. Okay, flex direction will be column, but the contents that we are aligning, they will be at the start in the y direction, and align items will be aligned in the left direction here. So if I click on refresh, so you can see I am getting it in 500 pixels, and all the items that are being aligned in the left direction only. And when we see the project heading, it is coming at the center because we have given the text align property of center to it. Okay, so that's why we are getting it at the center part. Now I will do the same thing, like I will give it some border radius here, border radius of 10 pixels, and dash border, just like we had given it to the first section. So if I refresh this, I am again getting it in the dashed format. Now I will also beautify this particular links that we have here. So how we can do that? So if we go here in the section 3 that we have here. So we can simply target anchor tags here if you want. Okay. And right here, text decoration none. So if you just go back, you see we don't have any text decoration now. We are not getting underline here. Okay. So if you want underline, you can write here underline, and you can also give the color of the underline, like this particular color. Okay. And you can also increase the font size of these anchor tags, 20 pixels, for example. So this is a lot more bigger, right? And what else we can do here? We can make this bold. So if I write here font weight property and I make it 800, for example, so they will become bolder, right? So that's how we can like edit all of these things, right? I can also increase the line spacing between them. So I will use line spacing, line height. Okay, line height, and I have increased it to 2. Let me refresh this. So you can see now I am getting some distance in between all of them. Okay, so now I think it's looking a lot more better than before, right? So yeah, we can do that. Now comes the table part. Okay, so we can also beautify the table accordingly. Uh, I think you guys can try beautifying this on your own, right? And complete this particular portfolio part, and you will be good to go to share it with anyone if you want. Okay, so this is we have not yet completed the CSS part here. Still, some of the things are here that are left, but I think for today this much is enough. Okay, so for tomorrow, we are going to beautify these things also, and we are going to study some of the advanced concepts, the theoretical part in CSS, that is animations, how we add transform properties in CSS, what is grid in CSS, and there are a lot of things that are left in CSS. So once we are able to complete the CSS part, we'll move on to JavaScript part, and we are going to develop a to-do list project either, or we will be building the calculator app. Okay, either of them we are going to build with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript for another session. So if you guys have any doubts, you can ask in the chat box. We can take 5 to 10 minutes for the doubts, and then like we can end this particular session and we can meet tomorrow. Okay, so if you guys have any doubts, please ask in the chat box. Okay, guys, if you don't have any doubts, I guess we can end the session for today. So, revise all of the things that we have studied today. Try building it on your own. If you guys have any doubts, you can ask in tomorrow's session also. And I think we are good to go up till now. And like try searching a little bit about JavaScript also for tomorrow's session. And yeah, if you have any doubts, you can always ask about them. Okay. So thank you all for your time and have a nice day.